Picture this scenario. It is 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. You jolt awake because of a sharp, throbbing pain in the back of your jaw. It feels like someone is taking a power drill to your molar. You know exactly what it is. It is that cavity you noticed 3 months ago. Back then, it was just a sensitivity to cold water, a minor annoyance. You knew logically that going to the dentist right then would cost maybe $150 for a simple filling, but you looked at your bank account and you had exactly $60 to last you until payday on Friday. You had to choose, fix the tooth or buy groceries for the week. So you did what millions of hardworking people do. You ignored it. You bought a $5 tube of Oragel, you chewed on the other side of your mouth, and you prayed. But biology does not care about your bank balance. Bacteria does not negotiate. 3 months later, that $150 filling has evolved into a massive infection. Now, you need a root canal costing $1,200 and a crown costing $1,000. You need antibiotics. You need to take 2 days off work because the pain is blinding, which costs you another $300 in lost wages. The math is brutal. Because you did not have $150 90 days ago, you now owe the universe $2,500. This is not bad luck, and let me be very clear. This is not because you are bad with money. This is a mathematical penalty. It is a distinct, measurable tax levied specifically on people who do not have liquidity. My name is Max, and today we are not talking about stocks, we are not talking about crypto, and we definitely are not talking about skipping the avocado toast. Today, we are going to dissect the invisible economic physics that keep the working class trapped in a cycle of poverty. We are going to prove, mathematically, why being broke is actually the most expensive hobby you can have. If you have ever felt like you are working twice as hard just to stay in the exact same place, I need you to watch this video until the very end, because we are going to expose the system that is designed to profit from your struggle. Let us start with a concept that explains almost everything about the poverty trap. It is called the Mattress Theory of socioeconomic unfairness. Imagine two men, Marcus and David. David is well off. He buys a high-end, supportive mattress for $2,000. It comes with a 20-year warranty. It is expensive up front, sure, but David sleeps like a baby. His spine is aligned. He wakes up, rested, full of energy, and ready to crush his high-paying job. That mattress costs him $100 a year over its lifespan. Now look at Marcus. Marcus works just as hard as David, maybe harder, but Marcus does not have $2,000. He has $300. So he goes to a discount furniture store and buys a cheap foam mattress. It feels okay for the first month, but by month 6, it is sagging in the middle. The springs are poking into his ribs. Marcus sleeps terribly. He wakes up with chronic back pain. Now, he is tired at work, so his productivity drops. Maybe he misses a promotion because he is always groggy. Even worse, the back pain gets so bad he has to go to a chiropractor or buy painkillers. That is an extra $50 a month. And here is the kicker. That cheap mattress falls apart after 2 years. So Marcus has to buy another one. And another one. Over 10 years, Marcus spends $1,500 on 5 terrible mattresses, plus thousands of dollars on back pain treatments and lost productivity. David spent $2,000 once and got richer. Marcus spent significantly more over time and destroyed his body in the process. This is the poverty premium. You are forced to buy low-quality goods because you lack the capital to access the high-quality economy. And low-quality goods are not assets. They are liabilities that drain your future cash flow. We see this dynamic most aggressively in the food system. This is what I call the calorie paradox. Health gurus love to scream on Twitter, "It is cheaper to cook at home. Rice and beans are cheap." And theoretically, on a spreadsheet, they are right. But they are ignoring the two most scarce resources for a working class person, time and energy. Let us say you just finished a 10-hour shift at an Amazon warehouse or waiting tables. Your feet are swollen, your brain is fried, and you have exactly 45 minutes before you need to pick up your kids or crash into bed. You have $10 in your pocket. Option A. You go to the grocery store. You buy raw chicken, vegetables, and rice. That takes 30 minutes of shopping, 45 minutes of cooking, and 20 minutes of cleaning up. That is an hour and a half of labor you physically do not have. Option B. You go to the drive-thru. You get 2,000 calories of burgers and fries for the same $10. It is ready in 3 minutes. It is hot, it is salty, and it gives your exhausted brain a hit of dopamine. When you are poor, fast food is not just food. It is a utility. It is a calorie delivery system that saves you time. But the math catches up with you later. The processed food leads to high blood pressure, diabetes, and fatigue. In America, treating diabetes costs on average $9,600 a year. So that cheap $10 burger is actually financing a future medical bankruptcy. Meanwhile, the wealthy person can afford the $15 salad, the gym membership, and the time to cook. They are buying health. You are renting energy at a predatory interest rate. But it gets darker. Let us talk about how the corporate system explicitly predates on your lack of cash. Let us talk about the rent-to-own industry. This is where the math becomes criminal. Let us say Marcus needs a laptop for his son to do schoolwork. A decent laptop costs $500 at Best Buy. But Marcus does not have $500 cash, and his credit score is wrecked because of those medical bills we talked about. So he walks past a rent-to-own store. The sign says, "No credit check. Take it home today for just $25 a week." It sounds amazing. $25 is manageable. Marcus feels relief. He can provide for his son. He signs the paper. Let us look at the fine print. The contract says he has to pay $25 a week for 72 weeks. Do the math. $25 times 72 is $1,800. Marcus is paying $1,800 for a $500 laptop. That is an effective interest rate of nearly 300%. If a bank tried to charge that, they would be shut down by regulators. But because it is structured as a rental fee, it is legal. This industry generates billions of dollars a year by harvesting the desperation of people who cannot access traditional credit. And speaking of credit, we have to address the psychology of this. One of the most common comments I see on videos like this is, well, if you are broke, you should just have better self-control. Stop buying iPhones, stop smoking. This ignores a massive breakthrough in behavioral psychology known as scarcity mindset. Sendhil Mullainathan, a Harvard economist, did a study that showed when people are legitimately worried about money, like how to pay rent next week, their functional IQ drops by about 13 points. That is the same cognitive impairment as going a full night without sleep or being functionally alcoholic. When your brain is in survival mode, it creates a tunnel vision. You can only focus on the immediate threat. Where is food? Where is rent? You physically lose the bandwidth to think about next month, let alone next year. This explains why someone might take a payday loan with 400% APR. To an outsider, it looks stupid, but to the person in the tunnel, it looks like the only way to survive until Tuesday. It also explains the little luxuries phenomenon. Why does a guy struggling to pay rent buy a pack of cigarettes or a lottery ticket? It is not because he thinks he is going to win. It is because for $2 he can buy a tiny flicker of hope or a moment of stress relief. When your life feels like a constant drowning sensation, you will grab any life raft, even if it is made of paper. The rich man buys a vacation to de-stress. The poor man buys a scratch-off ticket. It is the same psychological need, fulfilled at a different price point. So, we have established the trap. The boots, the food, the interest rates, the brain chemistry, it is all rigged to keep you at zero. The gravity is immense. So how do we escape? And I want to be real with you. I am not going to give you some Sigma grind set advice. I am not going to tell you to start a dropshipping business tomorrow. The escape velocity requires us to understand that the goal is not to get rich initially. The goal is to build a risk shield. You need to stop playing the game of growth and start playing the game of defense. The most valuable money you will ever have is not the money invested in the S&P 500. It is the first $1,000 you have sitting in a boring savings account. Let us go back to the toothache. If Marcus has $0 in the bank, the toothache becomes a $2,500 disaster. If Marcus has $1,000 in the bank, his risk shield, he pays the $150 for the filling immediately. That $1,000 just earned him a return of $2,350. That is a 235% return on investment instantly. There is no stock in the world that gives you those returns. Liquidity prevents problems from metastasizing. Money buys you the ability to solve problems while they are still small. This is why the traditional advice of pay off all debt first is sometimes dangerous for the working poor. If you take every extra dollar you have and throw it at your credit card debt, but you leave yourself with $0 in cash, the moment your car breaks down, you have to put it right back on the credit card. You haven't broken the cycle. You have just reset the timer. You need a buffer. You need to artificially create a period where you live like a monk, not to punish yourself, but to buy your freedom. This means auditing your life for the vampire costs. Look at your expenses. Where are you paying a premium for being poor? Are you paying late fees? Are you paying for single-use items because you cannot afford bulk? Are you paying high insurance premiums because your deductible is too low? Identify the biggest leak. If it is the car breaking down constantly, your number one mission in life is not investing, it is fix the car permanently. Sell whatever you have to sell, work the extra shifts, do whatever is legal and necessary to get that one problem off your back. Because once you fix the car, you stop missing work. Once you stop missing work, your paycheck stabilizes. Once your paycheck stabilizes, you can buy the bulk food. Once you buy the bulk food, your health improves. It is a reverse domino effect. But you have to knock over that first domino, and it is the heaviest one. I know this feels unfair. It is unfair. The system demands that you be perfect just to survive, while others can be mediocre and thrive. But getting angry at the unfairness will not change the math. Using that anger to fuel your discipline will. You have to look at your bank account and realize that every dollar you save is not just a number. It is a soldier in your war against entropy. It is a brick in the wall that separates you from the chaos. Do not try to impress people. Do not try to look rich. Being rich is often just having a lot of debt. Focus on being solvent. Focus on being unbreakable. If you are watching this and you are in the middle of the storm right now, keep going. You are playing the game on hard mode, and there is no shame in struggling. But understanding the rules, understanding the math is the only way to beat the house. If this video resonated with you, if you have felt that poverty premium in your own life, share this story. Let us stop shaming people for being broke and start talking about the math that keeps them there. Subscribe if you want to learn how to master the mechanics of wealth, not just the aesthetics of it. I will see you in the next one.